normal, man. Just innocent, man.
Huh. Why am I hearing myself? Hang on. Hold up, fellas. Welcome to, welcome to the Gavin in the Games. I appreciate you being here. You know I do. Welcome to the Gavin in the Games. I love you with all my heart and soul. But hang on. I gotta figure out why I'm getting echoes. Un momento, por favor. I gotta figure out why I'm getting echoes. Oh my god, it's lots of echoes, man. We'll fix it, don't worry, pals. We'll fix it, don't worry, pals. Happy Comic-Con. Happy Comic-Con. Alright, what's going on with this shit, man? Oh, I see what it is. I think I see what it is. Nah, I don't know. Alright, let me just take it one step at a time, fellas. Because I have a lot of things open. This is what your wife said last night. Listen, these things are funny to me. It doesn't matter how old I am. They're funny. We're gonna get to talking about the news. Don't worry, kids. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to. Is that it? Did I find it? Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is the window that's open? You fuck. Where the fuck is the window that's open? You fuck. Closing all these. Come on now. Oh, there's too many windows. Come on now. Okay, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. This is hard. It's not easy to do. If you could do it, you would do it too. Okay, I got it. Yay. Welcome to Gavin and Games, fellas. Good to see everybody. I appreciate you being here for this Sunday Anything Goes Free Swim Sunday. We can talk about whatever you want. There were a bunch of people coming at me earlier today, as they are wont to do, about various things as they relate to the politicking of the world, but we certainly don't need to talk about that if you guys don't want to talk about that. So, we will chat about whatever the fuck you want, man. You can also put yourself on the Discord, call in on the Discord. I'm keeping the phone line open today for one particular guy who was talking to him, and I said, you know, call in and let's have a conversation. So maybe he'll, maybe he'll be around. Let me just get myself in the call-in waiting room. Call-in share channel. There we go. All right, fellas. Thank you, Twisted Metal Clips. Thank you for the little animated sticker, and thank you for the super chat. You know what? I don't understand. Well, you know, who knows? They got a million. I was doing the bills last night. This is not what I don't understand, but the point is, I bought a new iPad, and I'm looking for the calculator. There's calculators on all the other Apple shit, and I look it up. I'm like, where the fuck is the calculator? And apparently Steve Jobs, when he was alive, obviously, didn't like the look of the calculator because it was just the iPhone calculator zoomed up, scaled up. So he told the guy in charge, he said, well, you can either get rid of it for now or you can fix it, but you only have a week until we ship. So they got rid of it, and they've never put it back in. They never fucking put it back in. What the fuck is going on? So anyway, the point is, though, with the YouTube, you would think that they would let people create their own little super chat stickers because then more people would be apt to use them. But they just, I guess they got a lot of things to do. I'm Thomas. Hello, buddy. He says, from a game dev point of view, how do you think, goddammit, how do things like the infamous Watch Dogs E3 showcase happen? No offense, sir, but I need you to be a little bit more specific. A little bit more specific. I'm not sure what you are referring to. 365, who went to Comic-Con? I usually go, but the last 2 years I have been very happy watching it from afar. I am sure part of it is age, but the crowds, and ultimately you get to a point that, like, what would it take to excite me at this point? I have all the media. I still have so many movies and games to play that, there were a couple of interesting announcements, but nothing massive. And, of course, there's the call I put in right before I started streaming. One sec, fellas. Anyway, yeah. So, what would they have to show me? I don't know. That would make me say, man, I'm so glad I did it, and I went this time. Darth Nugget says he just watched Mission Impossible. Those are some pretty good flicks. So I've given up my plan of watching movies illegally. The way I squared it was, some people know this who watch the stream a lot, I would bootleg a motion picture. I wouldn't download it. I'd stream it. And then I would buy 2 tickets. One because, one ticket, whatever. But then I'd buy another one for the same movie at the same theater because I know the theater makes most of their money off concessions. But the other night, I'm streaming The Flash, which I know is, you can rent it. But I'm like, why the fuck am I going to rent a movie for $20? Go fuck yourself. I'm streaming The Flash. It gets to a part where, let's just say Barry's building a fort. You know what? If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And suddenly he takes this part of the fort and throws it, and the whole screen freezes, and it goes to the blue screen and is like, yeah, just hang on, we're collecting some data. Fuck you, I turned off my computer so fast, I'm never going back. It's, I'm on the straight and narrow, folks. Okay, so Stampede Racing Royalty, yeah, Awesome Tatum, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, I saw you tweet that, and then I responded, and the Stampede folks liked my response. Good God, man. That means we might get in. I'm so excited. I thought it was going to be this weekend, but the beta is next weekend. If you don't know what we're talking about, Stampede Royal Racing is a battle royale kart race game. 60 players start. After every lap, or I don't know how many laps, they kill 5, 10, whatever, until you're the last man standing. That's cool, but the thing I'm most excited about is the battle mode, which is also battle royale, because people have been asking for a Twisted Metal battle royale forever, and I'm like, well, I'm not making it, but maybe it'll be pretty cool. It's basically, car combat with once you're dead, you're out of the game. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope we both get in. Awesome Tatum, thank you for that chat. Christian Michael has super chatted. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. He says, hey, still have an earache. I'm sure you've answered before, but what was your inspiration for Shadow Mortimer in Twisted Metal? He's been my favorite always. Mine as well. In Twisted Metal, so we started with the hearse. We always, not always, but 95% of the time we start with a car. And once we knew it was this purple hearse, we were like, well, who would drive this fucking thing? And I don't know why it was in my brain at that time, but I very much liked the idea of this Dickensian, like Charles Dickinson character, that was sort of, pushed visually well beyond the limits of reality. So he almost looked like this creepy Jack Skellington kind of thing. But I don't know why I asked Lee Wilson, the concept artist, to explore that, and I don't know what his inspirations were when he actually went down the road and started creating. But that was the inspiration, and he's my favorite too. I don't like him or her in black as much. The special just never felt as good, but TM2 Shadow Mortimer is the knees bees. I love his ending. I love the little kid's look on the airplane. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Thank you for the question, buddy. Hey, there he is, Mutant Mo. Is catching us live. Been a member for 28 goddamn months.
God damn it, Maverick!
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Thank you, Mutant Mo. I appreciate that and all the support you give, man. You are a credit to your nation, and one day they will take you back. Okay. Would you be willing to give me a quote for my class paper, says Nick Wiley. I'm writing on why games are the next step in storytelling for humans. Yes, and I'll do it on this very show, but I need a little bit more prompting. Like, what do you want me to talk about specifically? I'll give you a paragraph and do with it what you will. Way of the Lao talking about renting movies. Way of the Lao says it's crazy that they make you pay the same to rent as to buy. They actually don't. It's $5 extra if you want to own it. And again, look, man, get your fucking money. You guys see what's happening now in streaming with the movie companies. It's really for, people like me that love streaming and love these subscription services. It's like, oh, we're back to the old ways. But now it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. I can buy it, and in a couple of weeks it's coming to Disney. Flash, I can rent it for $20, but in a couple of weeks it's coming to Max, HBO Max. It's like, come on, man. The whole point was, well, you know what the whole point was, so it's kind of annoying. Okay. You think we're in, Awesome Tatum, to the beta next week? I hope so, man. I really fucking hope so. I did hear that, Denova. Denova says, did you hear with Ubisoft you lose your access to games if you haven't logged in for a while? I did a little looking on this, and I don't fully understand it, because you're absolutely right. I'm like, that can't be right, but it's right. I don't know what it means. Like, I bought a copy of Black Flag, Assassin's Creed, when it came out launch day of PS4. So I don't think they mean that they're going to take my right to play what I've purchased away. But if I've purchased something if I've purchased something on digital, reading the chat, if I purchased something on digital, does that mean that if I don't sign in, let's say I bought Rayman Legends for the Vita or something, and if I haven't signed in a year, I sign in, that game is gone? That seems crazy. Although Mastodope is saying it's only for PC, but I don't know. It's weird, man. It's fucking weird, man. WBG, what is he asking, that guy? He says, thoughts on P. Turtle. Is he real or playing a character? I mean, he's playing a character. He's not like a guy I've hired to play a character, but he calls in. He gets the people who don't know it riled up. If he's watching right now, which he probably is, because he has nothing going on in his life, he'll tell you he has a girlfriend who feeds him grapes. It's not happening. Okay? He'll tell you he's down at the hoops playing with his buddies. He ain't got no buddies. We're the closest he's got, fellas. So he makes up these stories, and there is clearly some truth in them, but my guess is he's a pretty liberal, progressive guy. There's no way you could actually be as cartoonish as he is and be real. I just don't believe it. I don't fucking believe it. I don't, Spazbo, I don't pay P. Turtle. I would, but I don't. I mean, I wouldn't, but I mean, I would. I am not above paying for crazy characters to come on the show. Every show like this does it, but I need to find somebody who I think is like, the audience. Like, P. Turtle's too divisive, as the Brits say. I need somebody who's like, like I keep meaning to reach out to Mutant Mo, who works in the adult film business, and say, hey, do you know a really attractive lady who is super sexy and comfortable with herself, and she's also a hardcore gamer? I'm like, she would be a cool character, not character, but a personality to pay to come on the show once or twice a week. And let's just talk games and just talk porn and all that shit. But, that's fair to me to pay that. I get it. Tron Drifter says, was Mr. Grimm based on Ghost Rider? No. No, I think what happened was we had a big mix of Maximum Overdrive, the film that Stephen King directed that had the big green goblin on the front of the car. We had Ghost Rider. We had Spawn with, I think it was like the clown, but there was also a serial killer who wasn't the clown, called something like Billy Kincaid or something. So I think when we were designing, we were reading and watching all that stuff. So I would say Ghost Rider is probably more reflective in Sweet Tooth's hair. But the skeleton on the motorcycle, I think we started with the Grim Reaper first, and that was just the natural personification. Nick Wiley, here's what he says. He says, my paper for school is on how video games create stories that are more able to connect and impact audience members due to the fact we actually interact with them ourselves. Big name sources would add credibility. Okay, I will tell you, here's my quote. Here's my quote. I have every confidence that video games or interactive entertainment will absolutely become the most impactful at both an intellectual and emotional level of all of the art forms. We see glimmers of it right now. We see it in games like September 9th, where instead of watching a movie that just sort of preaches you the idea that fighting terrorism only begets more terrorists, you play a very simple little flash game that within 5 minutes, if that, you instantly get it. You get something that would have taken a movie or a speech anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. This you actually get almost instantly, and in getting it via interactively, it's very hard to forget. It sticks in your brain. So I've seen enough evidence of games like that to suggest that's where this medium is going, can go, will go. The challenge right now is the appreciation of it, the awareness of it, the discussion of it is so low-key and so nascent, especially in big games, that most people roll their eyes when you talk about this kind of stuff because they're like, oh, it's a fucking video game, dude, you're just shooting people. But it's really not anywhere close to that. And the power of the medium is very strong. There's evidence of it everywhere. But it's yet to break through. I think, honestly, that's going to take things like college level video game classes studied like literature, where you can actually take apart a lot of these indie games and people start realizing and recognizing and appreciating that we are actually dealing with an insanely powerful medium. There's a game called Alone, I think, which is the entire game is made with a couple of dots, and it's a wonderful statement on loneliness, and it's emotional and it's effective. And if you would like, I have a whole video about this where I have examples and everything. So if you want to hit me up on Discord or Twitter and remind me, I will be happy to send you a link. Okay. Jaffe, have you seen the leak on PlayStation Project Q? Yeah, DevKit, I saw it. I mean, it's, I thought it was stupid when I first heard about it. And now that I've seen more of it, I still think it's stupid. I was looking at those leaks. Somebody just leaked some, stuff from the factory. It looks like looks like what they've shown. But what's weird about it is, I mean, it's a toilet product, really. I mean, it's a tablet for you to sit on the toilet and poop and play your PlayStation games, which is fine. But short of that, I don't know. I have no desire to have one. If I was a kid, and maybe, we were always fighting over the TV and shit, I'm sure there are wonderful scenarios where it would fit into your life. But I can't think of all that many. All I think is the money that they must have spent, which wasn't a crazy amount of money, I imagine, but it was a lot of money to spend on launching new hardware and all this shit. It's like, could you guys just make some games? Could you make some fucking games? I don't fucking know. Dave Calzone, thank you, buddy. Been a member for a month. I appreciate it. He says, nothing important to say, just happy to be here. What could be more important than expressing to the world your joy of just being alive, baby? Come on now. Jojo D wants some new emoticons. We'll get there. Ricardo's coming back from vacation soon. We'll talk to him about it. WBG says, Jaffe, have you paid for an OnlyFans subscription? I haven't. I'm not above or opposed to it. And unfortunately, I understand why it is this way because of the stupid backwards laws. But honestly, and I don't think OnlyFans is struggling for money, but honestly, until they have a proper app and or website where I can go and it's like, Jaffe, what do you want to see? Oh, I want to see sexy cosplayers dressed as retro video game characters. Go. Okay, here's 20 women who are doing it right now or have a subscription open. Then I'm interested. But the idea of like you have to already know their handle and you've got to follow them somewhere here and then go there, it's too much trouble. I just look at some porn and get on with my fucking day. I have played Post Void, I think. Isn't that the spaceship cell shaded looking game? Here's what's weird. Alex S says, Jaffe, are you excited? By the way, there's one E, sir. Hey, where did you go on your vacation, Spasbo? Are you excited to be playing Spider-Man 2 in the near future and enjoying the game without... Wait, this is a weird question. Are you excited to be playing Spider-Man 2 in the near future? And enjoying the game, exclamation point. Without any complaints? Let me answer the part of the question I understand. Am I excited to be playing Spider-Man 2 in the near future? Yes. I also had this weird thing. I haven't upgraded my tech or anything, but I was watching the Spider-Man 2 trailer that dropped at Comic-Con a few days ago, and there's a part where they just show footage, not gameplay real time. It might be real time, but it's not Peter or Miles not on the screen. And it's kind of like the camera's just kind of pushing through like the city or it's pushing through like a fairground. And I saw that and I was like, okay, that looks staggeringly good. But I then went back to look at the Keighley trailer or whenever they revealed it. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know if the trailer they showed at the Game Awards or the PlayStation Showcase was 720. And this thing that I was seeing from IGN was 1080p. But it was like, oh, the gameplay still looked about the same, but those cinematic sections looked a hell of a lot better on the trailer they dropped at the Comic-Con. Absolutely. Buying a new gaming TV, should I go? I'm the wrong guy. Hello, Cheetah. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I don't really know much about TVs. I don't know much about the difference between OLED. I don't know why, other than nostalgia. A bunch of people are running around with their pantyhose in a bunch, getting excited about getting a fucking CRT TV with the RGB component cable. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So I'm the wrong guy to talk about. I don't know anything about it. Papa Jaffe, what's up, good sir? Have you played Dark Souls, says Way of the Lao 3? And if so, what was your initial impression? No. I have all the Souls games I've played are Demon Souls, which I need to finish, but I loved. Bloodborne, which I did finish and I love. And Elden Ring, which I think I'm almost finished. I finally killed that fire troll in the snow section, and now I'm dealing with the God Peeler, the two of them, where it's like they just have a shared health bar, and you can kill them all day long, but if they come back, you still got to get the health bar down. So that's, and I plan on being done with that hopefully in a week. I think I'm close to the end, and then after that, I don't know. I might play some Lies of P. We'll see. Hey, Twisted Metal Clips, buddy. One of our newest members has popped up onto the bar, taken his pantyhose off, shown everybody his twigs and berries, and said, "Hey, Bacon Magma, take this gift subscription and stick it up your butt." Haha, zing. Welcome, Bacon Magma, back to the land of the living. Good to have you, sir. I have not watched the Barbie movie yet. My kids want to go. My ex-wife wants to go, so we're all going to go together pretty soon. Awesome Tatum, I am not just getting started. There is no fucking way after almost 200 fucking hours in Elden Ring, if there is, I'm giving up. I don't care anymore. It's my favorite fucking game of all time. But if you're telling me I've made it to the Snow Mountains, I've killed that motherfucking giant troll with the face on his chest, and then I've gone to the weird floating sky island, and you're telling me that I'm just getting started? No, fuck you. That's too much. I've already poured well over like 180 hours. No, I'm not doing it. Rocker Matt, I haven't seen it. So if I haven't seen it, that means YouTube or Google hasn't seen it. Your super chat. Wait until the Godskin. I'm at the Godskin Duo. That's what I'm doing now. And they're not that hard, actually. Compared to the Fire Giant, I've almost beat them like 3 times. But yeah, Rocker Matt, I wouldn't worry about you being charged for it. I mean, check your credit card. But usually I'd say almost always, if not always, when people tell me that they've sent me a super chat but they didn't see it pop, they get back to me and say, yeah, it wasn't on the credit card. So I'm not sure what's going on. But thank you for the thought, buddy. Rishi says, Jaffe, did you have any thoughts? Thank you for the super chat, bud. Do you have any thoughts on our demo for Boomerang Jack? What areas do you want to see indie devs games explore more of? I'll tell you what, I haven't played it. I'm assuming it's on Steam. I've seen it. I know what it is. I've just been really busy. I'm trying to be really good about finishing games. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to Steam right now, and I will download it. Hang on. Boomerang. No, that's not it. That's Boomerang X, which is a great game as well. Hang on. I'm going to download it, and I will make a video, and I'll give you my feedback if that's okay. If you want me to. I don't want to. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. What's it called? Boomerang. What's this thing called? Hang on. Boomerang Jack. He's stolen the money, and he's not giving it back. Come on now. Remember that kangaroo motion picture? There we go. Boomerang Jack. I'm going to it right now. Slash and dash through lightning-fast boomerang combat, epic bosses, and over-the-top acrobatics. Unlock and master abilities like bullet-time kicks and telekinetic tornadoes. Plunge into the shrouded realm of come on now. Plunge into the
How dare you?
Plunge into the shrouded realm of primordial threats and untapped power in this swashbuckling pirate adventure. Only from Recall Entertainment. Yeah, I'm downloading the demo now. I'll give it a play. I'll tell you what I think. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for reminding me to play this this darling of a game. I appreciate it, bud. Okay. You have to play, says IC7, Remnant of Ashes 2. I'm too busy, man. I'm too busy. There's so many fucking games, man. Your excitement for Star Wars is real. No, it's a lie. What? Why would you ask me that? Do you know me to lie? Have I ever lied? I would tell you, why would I lie about that? Just pick 1 or 2 games and focus on finishing them, says Wade Aloud. That's what I'm doing now. I want to get Elden Ring wrapped up. Absolutely. Yeah, I actually don't lie. So, you know. Just finished a book. Hey there, Jake Z, called God, Human, Animal. Thank you for being a member for 18 fucking months. Appreciate it. Just finished a book called God, Human, Animal, Machine about what it means to be human in the age of AI and modern tech. Your new favorite book. Shout out. Okay. God, Human, Animal, Machine. I need a little more information. Is it worth reading? Like, I mean, obviously you liked it, but like, what's the high concept here? Is it just like, what does it mean to be human, given that everything's this? I don't fucking know. Maybe I'll read. I'm reading a book right now about, it's a fiction book from a great sort of thriller sci-fi author about gene mutating weapons. It's pretty fucking good. Bacon Magma, no, I do not have a cameo. They asked me to do a cameo, and they said, come down to New Orleans, and we'll make you a corpse in a freezer. And I was excited, but I didn't want to fly. So, I don't know. Listen, let me tell you something. So the Twisted Metal show didn't premiere, but the Twisted Metal show showed up Saturday night, Thursday night, whatever, at Comic-Con. And there were only 2 people who kind of came out with a response to it. Both were actually quite positive. But I reached out to one of them and I said, hey, man, come on to the show and let's talk about it. And he says, the thing is, I'm in the press, I have an NDA, and so I have to wait for the embargo to lift. So, but I've seen 2 positive things, and I haven't really seen anything else. So the trailer they did, the last trailer for Twisted, I thought was really, really good. I'm excited for it. They're dropping them all, I guess, the 27th, 28th, which is this week. I got to figure out how I want to sort of make those part of this show. Do I want to watch them with everybody? Do I want to watch them all at once because they're all dropping at the same time? That's probably, I mean, I'm just bringing this shit up. I don't have any evidence of this, but I do wonder, usually the tactics with a show when you drop it not all at once is because you want to keep people from churning, right? I wonder if there's a fear that the show isn't very good. I haven't seen any of it except what you guys have seen. And because of that, if they drop it once a week, they're going to see bigger declines than if they drop it all at once. And if they drop it all at once, they can at least, get a bunch of people watching, get their fans and shit. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. I know P Turtle's waiting. P Turtle, I don't have the energy today, baby. I just saw you waiting in there. Thank you for that. But I mean, it's going to be the same old shit. Unless you can hit me up and tell me something fresh and new, I just can't argue with you anymore about how backwards you are. But we'll do an episode soon, you and me. Pick 3 topics. I'm a good for my word. We've done that before. Rocker Matt, there it goes, baby. It just popped. Thank you, bud. Rocker Matt dropped a big super chat. He says, Jaffe, look, man. When developing Twisted Metal, why did you have all the cars target the player instead of each other being a contest? It's an illusion created by the cars driving around aimlessly in 1 and 2. Was that ever tried and hard to program? I didn't program it. A guy named Steve Polson, who's a great programmer, did all the AI and pretty much all the Twisted Metal games that were done in Utah. So I honestly cannot remember. I know that a lot of people now, especially with Black and especially with 2012, are like, Jesus fucking Christ, why are the cars always ganging up on me? I get it. What I would tell you is I don't remember talking about it. If we would have talked about it, probably what would have come up would have been the conversation of, hey man, if you can make it so when enemies hit other cars, unless it's clear they have like a pixel of health left, don't do any damage, but let's make it look like that. Otherwise you could just drive around and avoid everybody and they'll just take each other out. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe it came up in some conversation here or there. And then ultimately it was decided, well, there are too many edge cases, whether it's the, how do we stop players from exploiting it, or how do we make it so that the player doesn't see a really big attack from, Dark Side on Mr. Grimm that should have wiped him out. But then the next time you drive up to him, he's the same health he was when you last encountered him. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of what ended up happening. But I honestly don't really remember. But I think that would be a fair guess. Scotty Woodford says, hey, I just saw Oppenheimer, best movie this year. I'm looking forward to it. I hear it's really good. I hear it's really, really good. I think I'm going to enjoy it more watching it at home, though, so I can pause it and go to the bathroom, all that shit. I hope that the end of the movie explains why his famous quote is he just was, I don't know anything about him. I assume he was German. I don't know what he was, but why does he say, I am become death? Who speaks that way? Like, I have become death? That I don't understand. Do they explain that? But short of that, yeah, I want to see it. Christopher Nolan rubs me a little bit the wrong way. A little bit the wrong way, truth be told. He's a little bit full of himself. It's like, fuck you. Don't tell me how to watch your fucking movie. It's a good story. I don't give a fuck. If it's a good episode of Boy Meets World is just the same as Casablanca. If the characters are good and you're into the narrative, you can watch it on a fucking toaster. You can watch it on IMAX. Don't fucking try to tell me that the experience is... Fuck you. Let me tell you something, Nolan. If I'm paying attention to how big the picture is and how good it looks and how crisp the focus is, guess what? You failed. That's like paying attention to special effects. I should be totally wrapped up in your story and in your characters. I shouldn't give a... I should never in a movie go, oh my God, it looks so good. The minute you do that, I'm out of the story. But I do want to see it, though. I do want to see it. It's a quote from the... hey, Six, he says it's a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, which is like a Indian lady or... Okay, gotcha. Did I miss your super chat? I am Thomas. No, I didn't. I asked you a question. I asked you. You basically said, thank you for it, by the way. You said, when Watch Dogs was shown at E3, it looked graphically amazing. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I did miss that one. I did. That's weird. It showed up on this screen, not that one. Well, thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm sorry, buddy. Here's what he says. Thanks for the super chat, man. When Watch Dogs first was shown at E3, it looked graphically amazing. But at launch, it was just fine. From a game dev point of view, how do things like this happen? Well, it really depends. There are usually two ways it happens. One is it is intentional and it is just marketing, right? I mean, even when I made that video today about Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm very excited about, for some reason, Alex S seems a little suspicious, but, you know, whatever. And I'm like, look, I think it looks great, but I'm also very aware that this is the exact same developer who did The Division, which had a similar challenge and out result as Ubisoft's other game, Watch Dogs, which is they released some absolutely stunning screenshots of a city scene in New York. And then when the game came out, it was a nice looking game, but it didn't look like that. And then they did it again, I guess, for Watch Dogs. So my guess is that's just business as usual at Ubisoft. They're like, give us a screenshot that really is reflective of the highest end PC of where we think tech will be when we release this game, if you have all the bells and whistles and the most expensive way to play this game. And then they kind of adjust based on that. I know that there was a law recently, or that there was a proposal of a law. It might have been in Europe. This stuff usually is in Europe. They have better consumer protection over there, where it was like, you can't really do that anymore. But maybe it didn't pass, or maybe I'm remembering it wrong, because it doesn't seem like anything's changed. The other thing is, like, you know, the puddles in Spider-Man. I don't think when you show a game at E3 and then you reveal the game for sale, could be 6 months later, a year later, whatever, a lot happens in those 6 months. And a lot of times, you know, so for example, I'm just making this up. I don't know if this is what happened in the case of Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1 2018 looked great, but people were like, where's the puddles and the reflections and all that? For all I know, they went in and they made changes to Spider-Man's costume, or they added more joints to the enemies so the ragdoll could be more impressive when Spider-Man beats him up. And then they're like, okay, we're going to do that, but you know, of course, that's going to hit the processor. So even though at E3 the game looked like this, we didn't have this many joints in the AI, or Spider-Man didn't have, you know, this that was taking up memory slots or whatever. And so you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. That's what happens with an honest developer. But then when you have a publisher that's just trying to pull the wool over your eyes and get away with it because they can, my guess is that sounds a lot more like Ubisoft's, you know, just sort of another day at the office. I don't think that's the case in something like Spider-Man, is what I would say. Did the new Spider-Man trailer move the needle for you at all, says Brett Moore? Yes, but only because you know what it was? It was context, right? And this is my fault as much as I think is the developer's fault, which is, you know, when they rolled out the Spider-Man 2 trailer at PlayStation Showcase is where we first saw it, right? A couple months back. When you show up to that kind of show, there are expectations of the audience, especially if you've not shown much new first-party content for a very, very long time. And so in that, the expectations of we want to be blown away, those are the winds they were sailing against, right? And I think they got, hit a little bit because of it, because there was an expectation and it wasn't met. It just looked like a really good, it looked like DLC for Spider-Man. Actually, that's not true because it had a pretty big mechanic shift with the 2 Spider-Man, but you know what I'm saying. It looked like more of the same for the most part. And I was like, I'll play it. I love Spidey, but whatever. But then when they showed the story trailer, it looked just good. It was interesting. But also I think because the expectations had been set and you're like, okay, if you're into this, it's because you're into the comfort food that Insomniac provides through their Spider-Man games. And so there's no reason in the world not to be, in my opinion, happy about games like that exist that are just like, we're not trying to fucking put a dent in the universe. We're just here to sort of show you a good time, kill some time, make a game that really brings you a lot of joy and you move on with your fucking life. And when you watch it through that lens, I was much more interested. But that was not the lens I was watching things through at the Sony showcase. But frankly, that's not my problem. That's what you get when you hold your shit so close to the vest for so long that people just start going, give me something new, give me something cool, blow my mind. And, that's what I would say. How can you reserve a spot for the next seance? Well, when we do another seance, I will, as I did before, open it to all members that are highest here starting first. So Gods of War will get in first, and if there's not enough of them, we'll go to Cult Calypso, and then we'll drop to Daitso Soldiers and see if anybody wants to join and talk to the dead. Capono, talking about Spider-Man, says, there's a robbery happening. Go stop them, Spider-Man. Just got boring. It did. Absolutely. It totally, totally did. I loved it, but you're absolutely right. You could argue that it was their first... Was it? No, it wasn't their first open world game. But I got a lot better in Miles, and I think anyone who's kind of tasked with making open world shooters these days is aware that that's a problem. And so hopefully we'll see a better take this time around than what we saw with you're right, just the over the top frequency of these stop the robbery Spider-Man. Absolutely. I started playing Sunset Overdrive, pretty fun roller. Yeah, I couldn't get into it, Struggling Boxing. I kind of got a little bored of that game. I know a lot of people love it, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. The seance, we had a seance at Halloween with a buddy of mine in LA who is she's actually a exorcist, and she's been on a bunch of shows and stuff. You may have seen her if you follow this stuff, but she does do channeling and seances and stuff. And there's a video up. My views on things like that are absolutely. I'm open. Just like with religion, I'm agnostic. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So, do I think she could be full of shit? Of course. Do I think she also could be in touch with something that we don't understand and she doesn't understand? Sure, of course. I don't fucking know. But I can tell you that in that seance, she did say something that was pretty spot on, that I actually had video proof to back it up, and I made a video showing what she said and then compared it to the video that made sense what she was talking about, and it was like, okay, that's weird. But, it could also just be coincidence. I don't fucking know. Do I have any advice to make better code for video games? I don't, because I'm not a coder. You don't want to ask me that question because, I just like throwing shit in the game and seeing what happens. And I'm not coders. I'm not programmers' favorite people because of that. I appreciate code for what it is, which is really fucking insanely hard and impressive, but I appreciate it, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't want to know how to do it. I like it being magic. She said a few things to you and Rob that felt genuine. It wasn't, yeah, you're right, Brett Moore. It wasn't even that it felt genuine. It was that the person or the character she created or the spirit she got in touch with that was supposed to be my father, who had obviously died. He said something that was so specific and so accurate about something I had been thinking about since he died, that the fact that that's what she went to and that's what she picked up on, that was interesting. One Winged Angel says, Jaffe, in Spider-Man Remastered, you can skip the puzzle bullcrap. Yeah, but I don't. That's the thing. I'm a fucking dinosaur at this point. I don't know what the younger kids want, but I can tell you this, man. I can tell you that if it's in the game, I'm assuming it's in the game to be in the game. And if it's like, oh, too hard, not a problem, skip it, then I feel like, okay, what the fuck is this? Don't like dinosaurs? Not a problem. Go see Jurassic Park. Whenever the dinosaurs appear, you can press this button and make them go away. Why? Give me the game. This idea that, well, no, it's accessibility. Fuck you. Accessibility is like I'm colorblind or I'm missing a hand or, my brain works a little different than your brain. But taking the content of the experience and changing it because someone is like, I don't like puzzles as much. What? Come on. I don't like it. Ian Anderson, thank you, buddy. He says, I watch all your stuff. I comment infrequently. But I was really surprised at your reaction to Sweet Tooth twerking. Would you have felt the same about Kratos twerking? Yeah, I mean, it depends on where, right? Like when they put Kratos in Fortnite and he's doing the stupid Fortnite dances. Whatever. I'm just like, it's Fortnite. Clearly, Sony's like, yeah, it's dumb. It's off-brand. But end of the day, it's going to give us enough visibility. It's worth it. Okay, fine. But this is a show where Sony and the showrunners hold all the cards for how it's portrayed. And so this was a conscious choice that they thought was funny or endearing or clever. And I just thought it was cringy and embarrassing. It's not that I needed somebody asked me, like, well, what'd you want him to do, Jaffe? You want me to go out there and cut off Cisco's head and throw it into the crowd? I have nothing against Cisco, but that would have been cool. But no, I didn't need him to go out there and start quoting, serial killer manifestos. He could still go out there with them, and have a decent time and stuff. But the guy, whoever directed that actor who was playing the clown, it was just like, you could see him having such a good time hamming it up. And he's like, look at me, everybody loves me. And I'm like, that's not the character. That's not the fucking character. It would be like, if Lucasfilm said, yeah, go ahead, you can put Darth Vader in your parade. And then he's going around kissing babies and doing crazy jokes and magic. And you're like, the fuck is this? It's not Darth Vader. So it kind of pissed me off. I mean, whatever. Look, I hope the show does well. I'm excited for it. But I have, like I said in the video I made recently, I have seen enough stuff that has been awful from that show. And I have seen enough stuff that has been really cool and fun and spot on from that show that I'm kind of like, I don't know what to expect. But I'm okay with that. I mean, they have the right to make what they want. They got the license to it. They have my support. I will watch at least the first couple episodes, and I'd be stunned if I don't watch the whole thing. But if I'm bored, I'll fucking bolt. But I will not have Yang on my show. He was just on the Iron Lords like 2 hours ago. What am I going to talk to him about that they didn't already talk to him about? I don't even know the guy. I know who he is, but I don't play Yakuza or any of that stuff. You're right, Bacon. I'm a total toxic asset. Beats being a toxic asshole. Yes! Alexa, did you hear what I just told Bacon? I don't think she heard, but if she did, she would be going, haha, good one, boss. She calls me boss because she likes it. I don't know. Yeah, I think Young Ye does voice acting. He's doing something for the Yakuza, the new Yakuza game, man. Jebediah didn't curse Tooth. Well, that's true. I mean, they didn't set his hair on fire. You know what's funny about that? Maybe they're saving that for season 2 if they get season 2, because it's not that hard. I mean, we did it 10 years ago, and it was a very simple effect. It wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't that. There was a lot more expensive things we did in those movies, and I thought the hair stuff looked pretty good. So I don't know. All right, what else we want to talk about? I'm tired of talking about video games. Give me something else. Give me something else, man. I want to talk about. I don't care. I just can't talk about video games. What the fuck are you drinking? Hey, Twisted Metal Clips. Well, I have a Diet Coke in this hand, and I have sparkling water in this hand. Do I play chess? I do. Not in any serious way. I play it with my son. He's actually better than I am. But I enjoy it. I think it's quite cool. But I wouldn't consider myself like really, really good. Ezra Miller, I haven't been following it, Spazbo. I know that he apparently did a bunch of stuff. I don't know if it was sexual assault or abuse or something. And, apparently he's repented for his, I don't fucking know. But I did watch a little bit of The Flash. I thought it was good. I was surprised that when James Gunn came to DC, there was all that talk about Gunn saying it's one of the best superhero films he's ever seen. And I was just like, okay, like I said, I watched about 40 minutes of it the other night, and I liked it. I was engaged by it. It was good. But I didn't think it was the best superhero movie. It was just, it's good. Maybe it gets better at the end. I don't know. Do I spend a lot of time with my kids? As much as they will want me to. I used to spend, they're older now. One's 20, one's almost 18. So, but when they were younger, yeah, every weekend, every night, anytime I could. And I'm still that way. Like I said, we're probably going to watch shows a lot together as a family. Okay, so do you think YNW Melly is innocent? I don't know who that is. Yes, congressional hearings coming up on UFOs this week. Look, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on there. And unfortunately, the more they reveal, the more, to me, it becomes very clear that it's like a psyops thing. Because I want you to really think about it. I mean, from the beginning of my life and before I was born, the government was always, they're either covering it up or nothing happened or there's nothing here. We haven't gradually gotten to where we are now, where the government is like having congressional hearings with this whistleblower guy, and you've got even idiots like Marco Rubio coming out and saying, I've spoken with some of these guys who are going to testify, and it's amazing what they've told me, blah, 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 blah. You can't tell me that we went from zero accountability from the government to almost like, look, this shit's going on, and what are we going to do about it? Come on, that seems mighty convenient to me. It seems a lot more likely that we've got some amazing tech, or we know the bad guys have some amazing tech, but we don't want them to know we know, and this is all calculated. Now, I hope it's not. I want to believe in fucking aliens and shit. 100%. But it just seems a little too weird. It seems a little too fucking weird. Jaffe, has your son gone through any type of trans surgery, if you don't mind me asking? I don't mind you asking, but I don't know if that's my story to tell, so you would have to talk to him. about that. And he pops on the stream from time to time, so I'm sure he'll give you his take on the whole thing. Do you play games with them? I love playing games with my kids. Yeah, when they want to. But like last night, but more often than not, now we're playing like board games and shit. Last night we played what's that fucking Splurk? It's like you have a deck of cards, and you turn it over, and there's like on one side of the card, it'll say something like it has to end in Y. And then you turn it over and it's like politician's name or actor's name or, some kind of dairy product, whatever. And so it's kind of like how fast you can think about this shit. It's cool. We play a lot. I don't mind personal questions. I don't think I'm just saying because I'm okay saying I'm not going to answer that. So who is YN Molly? Prince. I don't know who that is. Barbie or Oppenheimer? I'm going to see Barbie in the theater with the family, and I'm going to see Oppenheimer at home. What is a good age to die? I mean, how the fuck do I know? I think the best age to die is, when you're ready, right? I mean, when you really, like, I'll tell you what, my dad was a guy who loved life, loved his family, would not have left this earth if he had a choice. But I remember, I wasn't there, my sister told me, but I'll never forget her telling me, is that, my mom was uncomfortable telling him that he was dying. He pretty much knew, but, he was on hospice and he kept saying he was going to try to get better. I don't fucking know. But my sister says she went in there when he was hospicing at home, and she asked him. She says, "Are you ready?" And he said, "Yeah." And that's if you knew my dad, you'd know that was pretty rare to say something or think or feel something like that. So I think when you know, but I don't know. I don't really think. I don't know, man. Death is, here's what I really think. I think our concept of death is so basic and uneducated that I don't think it's what we think it is. I don't think we die and then I think it is all happening at the same time. There is no past, present, and future. We are all part of the same organism, literally. I don't think it's what we think it is. I think it's kind of like the way a dog probably, if you put a dog in an elevator and go up to another floor and then the door opens, I don't think his brain understands anything other than I'm in a magic box that takes me to different places. I think that's what death is like for people's perception. So but I don't know. Maybe you just, the worst case is you just lie there and you are conscious. Your brain works until it rots. And if you don't get burned up, you get put in the ground. How would we know? Right? You can get shot and die on the beaches of Normandy. And whether you roll out with the tide or they give you a proper burial and fly you back to America, whatever, you are aware until the part of your brain that makes you aware rots away. Who the fuck knows? I mean, science says that that's not the case, but who the fuck knows? Jaffe, is it fair we come to life and then we die? I don't know. Ask me when we know what's actually going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Maybe. It's not blackness. There is no nothing. There is no blackness. Blackness is something. Nothing is something. I've been, I used to think, if you've been under anesthesia, you know what nothing is. And it's not bad at all. But it's not like this concept of you're just sitting in nothingness. I mean, maybe it is, but certainly anesthesia is not. You can't comprehend nothing, Prince Green, but you don't have to because you won't be there. What did my dad die of? He died of congestive heart failure. You were nothing before you were born. See, I don't even think that is accurate. I agree with that, Spasbo. Going under anesthesia is time travel. It really fucking is. If you ever have the option to have anesthesia, I highly recommend it. Even if it's just like these people who fear colonoscopies, I'm like, dude, they're awesome. Because A, they knock you out and they give you amazing drugs. It's not like you're aware unless you go to a doctor that doesn't. I don't know why a doctor wouldn't give you all that good stuff. But anyway, the point though, it is. You go away and you're back and you have traveled in time. It's insane. But anyway though, you were nothing before you were born. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because the people who believe that or promote that idea that you were nothing before you were born, so you'll be nothing when you die, they come at it from a position of, well, I can't remember anything before I was born, so there must be nothing, right? But I can't remember my life when I was 1. That doesn't mean I didn't have one. I can't remember being in my mom's womb. It doesn't mean I wasn't there. So if your only argument or your only support of the argument of death must be nothing because before birth there's nothing, based on what you remember, that doesn't really work very well. Jinzo says, would you ever go back to the dark web? I've never been to the dark web. I would love to. Zeke says waking up from anesthesia is like waking up from the best sleep ever. I think it depends on the drugs they give you. So I had a colonoscopy and they gave me something that knocked me out, and it was in my system for about 30 minutes when I came to. And boy, oh boy, was that nice. Ooh, lordy. Ooh, lordy, that was nice. Do you ever think whether yourself exists that only in the anesthetic state feels the pain? What? Do you ever think whether yourself that exists only... I don't understand what that means. I'm just not sure. People are saying the grave is the worst place to be after death. Well, okay. I mean, I don't even know what that means. Do I believe in past life theory? Not in the literal sense, right? I believe that we are probably, from what I think we know about science, my understanding of it, we are probably all made up of the same material, and the material that you are today was something, at least part of you, else, and then when you die, that material will go to be something else. So in that, you have come from something else. But do I think that you were a person named Jed who lived in 1896 and now you're this? I don't know. Not really. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but it seemed there's too many weird things that you have to kind of square. Like, well, there's more people alive now than then. Okay, so what were all those people doing, right? Were they not created yet? Were they on a different planet? I did go to a past life regression hypnotist once, just because I thought it would be fun. And it was amusing, but it wasn't like I walked away going, oh my fucking God, you guys. Hey, Oscar Rodriguez, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. He says it's like Mufasa's circle of life. I think so. If you think about, if we are all made of the same particles, and even though I know we're not connected because there's little spaces between the vibrations, if we're all like, if you listen to that Jill Bolte Taylor, who was a neurosurgeon, and she had a stroke, and she wrote a book about what she saw and what the experience was. She said, I had a stroke. I was in the shower. I leaned up against the shower wall, and I saw my hand begin to dissolve into the atoms and the quarks of the wall. And I was just part of that same stuff that made up everything around me. So I do think there's... it wouldn't surprise me if we are not just part of one big fucking creature. It doesn't have to be anything noble. Maybe it's just a big fucking giant hippopotamus taking a shit on some, planet we can't fathom the size of it. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we're all part of... Yeah, we're part of a fucking hippo shitting. But I'm just saying that kind of makes more sense than a lot of other stuff. I'm scared to get a colonoscopy, says, Dear Jaffe, I'm scared to get a colonoscopy. I've had hemorrhoids and doc says it went down, but they might want to check my bum with a colonoscopy. Maybe I'm 37. Maybe. I'm 37 and it scares me. It scars me. Scars you, I could see. Why are you scared of a colonoscopy? Talk to me about that. I mean, it's really, especially if you go to a doctor who will give you the meds, it's a delightful experience. Jose says, Jaffe, what do you think about nukes and radiation effects to the body? I think it's bad. Is there any subtlety in the answer to that question? What do you mean? I loved my colonoscopy. It was so clean. It was clean as a whistle. Addie Pie says, I remember Jaffe showing pictures of his nasty colonoscopy and being so amazed. There was nothing nasty about it. There was no fecal paste in that rectum. It looked like the cleanest piece of a fucking David Cronenberg, pipe or something. It was just beautifully clean. Beautifully clean. I worked hard for that clean rectum. It's the going to sleep is what's scary, says Prince Green. What's scary about it? Jaffe, why can we have animals pooping on YouTube but not humans? Is YouTube biased towards humans, says Bacon Magma. Dude, get in line with all the fucking double standards. There's so much shit. There's so much shit that we... what's all this double standard horse shit? What was the thing I saw the other day? This woman was MMA lady. She won the competition. Maybe it was bare knuckle. I think it was MMA though. And she flashed everybody. And she got suspended or removed from the goddamn cockadoodie league. I'm like, motherfucker, this woman was just in a battle where she was beaten and bloodied and bloodying up her opponent, and that was fine. And it was fine for you guys to make lots of money off her fight and getting hurt and hurting somebody else. But the minute you see the woman's got some nips, everything's off. Call in the... Come on, man. Come on, man. It's absurd. You're afraid of not waking up if you go under. Oh, I see. You'll be fine. You'll wake up. I mean, there's a reason anesthesiologists are exceptionally well paid. And again, you don't, by the way, if that's what scares you, tell him you don't want to go under. Tell him you want some drugs to make you loopy, and make the process totally comfortable and forgettable. But you can have a colonoscopy without... This is what a dumb stream. Come to the video game channel. You can have a colonoscopy without going totally under. Just tell your doctor, But I recommend anesthesia, man. It's a spiritual experience. It is a... to have, like Spaz was saying, that experience of time travel is staggeringly cool. And to also wake up and have that experience of there was nothing, right? It was just, it wasn't even black. It wasn't a void. I was here and then I was there. It's too fascinating not to experience. Now, unless you got a shit doctor who, administers the anesthesia, through a Pez dispenser, I think you should be fine. But yeah, you got to go with your gut. You left your body once during meditation. It was amazing. I've never had that. That would be great. Do you feel pressured to learn how to box now you're a YouTuber? No way. Why would I want to? Why would I want to? No. Why do I want to box? What the fucking fun is that? It doesn't look fun at all to me. If humankind can't figure out life after death, we will never know, just like why we were created. Sure, we'll eventually figure it all out. I think that's kind of part of the game. Yeah, a different area, right. Would you be the favorite in a boxing match against Kojima? I think so. But only because I'm just big, because I'm overweight. So I could, I wouldn't last as long as he would. But I wouldn't need to. If I could just kind of get him in a corner for a couple seconds, it's over. Because he's a tiny little human being. I don't have a lot of muscle mass. I don't have much cardio strength, but I have the weight and the force. Would I rather get a colonoscopy or be probed? I'd rather be probed, if you mean by aliens, because then I would have proof of aliens. Oh my God, that's different. Okay, Prince Green says, I don't want to be awake also because I had to do the procedure when they push the camera up your penis to check for cancer. Yeah, I've had what is this show? I have had some kind of swab stuck up the pee-pee hole. Whoo, Lordy, that was some pain. But that's not this. I have had a colonoscopy. What is the show? No, man. This can't be my channel. This can't be my channel. I got a fucking invite to join the AARP the other day, and now we're talking about fucking... Anyway, the point is, I've had a colonoscopy without any drugs before, and it was just a little uncomfortable. It was fine. This is not that. You'll be fine. And let me tell you something, Prince Green. You know what would suck worse than that? The chemotherapy that you would do if you don't catch something early. Go get a goddamn colonoscopy. Come on now. Twisted, thank you, buddy. He says boxing match. David Jaffe versus Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is the Star Wars guy? I don't think either one of us would. We would just go, do you want to do this? He'd say, nah. I don't know either. Let's go watch some Star Wars. What's better, prostate exam or colonoscopy? Colonoscopy. Because you don't have to be awake, and even if you are awake, you're loopy as fuck, and it feels great afterwards. Oh, I fucking hate the fucking... What are we talking about? No. We're moving on. I can't do this. $6 says my sister just had her stomach cut open and a 7-pound creature pulled out of it while she was awake. I don't believe you, but I will tell you, there have been cases that are just fascinating where people will have these tumors and they'll be fucking big as fuck, and they go in to cut them out. And it's not a tumor. It's teeth and hair and fingers. And they were a twin. And the twin died, obviously, before birth. And it didn't all get flushed out. And it continued to grow, not as a living entity. I know, it's crazy. It continued to grow, not as a living entity, but as an organism or some kind of... It got enough nutrients to continue to grow as this ball of hair and teeth and fingers and sinew. And you can... this is a real thing. It happens from time to time. So, you know. Is this someone in your family? No, it's real. It's here, I'll show you. I'm not going to show you a picture. I don't think I have a picture, but hang on. You don't believe me? I don't lie to you guys. I tell the truth, man. I'm all about the truth telling. Hang on. Let me show you the story. That's what... Yeah. Drink too much G Fuel. Krang? I don't know who Krang is. Okay. Let me go to my bookmarks because I bookmarked it. Bookmarks are kind of hard to find on the desktop of Twitter. I don't know where they are. Oh, there they are. Yes, I do. Okay, bookmarks. Hang on, let me show you guys if I have it. Maybe it was on Instagram. Oh, I think it was on Instagram. Hang on. Oh, yeah, I mean X. Yep. That's right. Oh, so stupid. That guy's a nut. Okay, hang on. Instagram. Shut up. What do I want to? Gosh. Where's my shit, man? Where's the stuff I liked? Profile. Oh, these interfaces. So stupid. Archive? Fuck, man. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. I'll show it to you later. I can't find it right now. I can't find the. I know where it is on the app. By the way, speaking of apps, what's it called? The goddamn Pokemon Sleep is out in America. I'm going to try it tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, it's a thing. You can find it. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of gross. I highly recommend it because stuff like that is cool. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, shall we? I think we've been in the dark a little too long here on these topics. I'm waiting for this guy to call me because he says, oh, we were talking about the Florida thing. Oh, my God, you fucking Florida fucking idiots. I don't understand people from Florida, man. That's not true. I used to love going to Florida as a vacation. What about the indie games you tired of seeing pixel graphics or the ones try to be deep and artistic? Yeah, sure. I mean, Mario, I love all games, and I love things that are interesting and unique. And for a while, and still I think you see those in the indie space. But yeah, the deep and artistic stuff that isn't actually deep and artistic, it just kind of wears the cloak of artistry. Nah, I'm not into that. But if it's genuinely artistic, sure, absolutely. Have I read any good books? Well, like I said, I'm reading a book right now called Upgrade about human gene tampering. I DM'd on the Discord the account to follow and the tweet of the man pregnant with his dead twin. Ooh, let me see. Yeah, that's right. Morbid Knowledge. That's what it is. I follow that account. I'm not sure why that didn't come up. I saw some of the Chainsaw Man anime, but I don't really read it. And I liked it. I saw a really cool figure they came out with at Comic-Con. Have I read the Bible? Chongo sent me, or he didn't send me, he recommended a Bible to me, and I bought it. And I skimmed it. I got the gist. Hang on. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Look, check it out. This is such a great site. Where'd it go, man? Where'd it go? But this is it. You can see this guy. What date was it? Why can't I just open that one? No, I don't want to go to the... Here we go. He looked 9 months pregnant. He couldn't breathe. They thought it was a tumor. That was until they opened him up and found he'd been carrying around the twin he absorbed 36 years prior. It's a rare condition. One twin has been absorbed but continues to leach the host's blood supply and nutrition. The fetus continued to grow teeth, hair, and even genitals. Look at that. Look at that. The Bible. Am I more excited for Starfield or Outlaws? I'm more excited for Starfield. But I'm excited for both, though. I don't have any plans yet for Halloween, DeNova. I will tell you, last year, I was like, I'm finally going to do Halloween right. And we took a bunch of people. We went to L.A. We went to Halloween Horror Nights. We got a hotel. And we did the whole thing. And I'm just like, it was so well produced, but it was so disappointing that I think I'm probably going to do another seance on stream and I'll probably do like a really dark and twisted stream or something. But I don't know yet. I'm not entirely sure yet what my plan is. But no, I don't really. Why would I read the Bible though, other than wanting to read it and see what Chongo was talking about? I mean, I have been in a fight, and I've won. I've been in 2 fights and I've won both of them. Last of Us at Hollywood Horror, yeah, but it's all the same shit. And All Day I Love the Weird. That sounds good. You know, it's just like you go in and, oh no, he's dressed as a clicker. And this is kind of what happens, right? You've been to these fucking things. It never changes. I'm the clicker, right? Then they go back into the little hiding corner. It's like, shut up. You know? I mean, I don't expect you to literally kill someone. It's a show. But surprise me. You know? Be imaginative. You putting more people in clown makeup and going, oh, clowns is scary. No, they're not. And even if they are, people have had enough time who are scared of it with, what's it called? When you have some kind of problem and the therapist, you have to exposure therapy, that they're not scared anymore. Dano, I don't agree. Dano says it's fun to play along. I don't want to play along. I want to be scared. I want to be scared. I want you to show me something. And look, I don't need to be afraid for my fucking life, but I do want to be, I want my mind to be a little twisted. Like, fuck, that was fucked up, dude. Or that was disturbing. Or that was really strange, but cool. Right? Give me something. But you just have, I mean, oh, it's so embarrassing. I hate the word cringe. But it's so cringe, especially when they've got like, all the actors are reading off the same fucking playbook, right? It's just like, you know, you've got the girls that are like dressed up as the creepy doll, and it's like, and she's coming out. It's like, yeah, okay. Ugh. I hate it. I want to be scared. Frank Farrow, thank you for the very first super chat you've ever dropped, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I'm honored. Listen to this. This is what he says. He says, Jaffe. What's up, pal? He says, I've been playing Twisted Metal since Genesis. Well, you don't want to know on Genesis, unless you mean like when God created Earth. I have all the games on hard disk. I've been a huge fan, and I have a question. Is there anything you can change about the games? What would it be? First off, thanks for playing our games, man. Very, very appreciate that. Okay, if I could change, I mean, there's tons of things I would change about individual Twisted Metals, but on the whole, as a series, I think, you know, I always wish that the game could be, I wish that the game could be deeper, but it could also be consistently entertaining at the shallow end to get people who like it into the deep end. And I think all the games have suffered from that, because it's, I think if I were to do another Twisted Metal, Franklin, it would be one where I would start with the abstract mechanics and say, I know this car can't be a human. I mean, it could, but it's not going to be, where it has the motion fidelity of a person. But I want to think about ways this vehicle could move and attack and defend, both in the moment to moment and at a sort of metagame level. And then I want to build the control set around that desire, because I think that would allow us to create a deeper experience. That then I would just task the artists with going, look, these still have to feel like cars. I know they're doing all this crazy shit. That's a you problem. Figure it out. But, you know, that's what I would say. Because I think there is more depth there, or there could be more depth there, and I would like to explore that given the opportunity. Thank you for that super chat, though, buddy. Hey, Addy Pie, you piece of shit. Addy Pie is the troll of the week. Thank you, buddy, for 3 months. I appreciate it. You know I do. Jaffe, cringe is a normal word. Why are you so offended? Also, how did you win those fights you were in? Were the opponents regular people? Okay. I don't like cringe because it suggests that the person using it has the skinny on what everyone else thinks. So when someone does something they don't like, they try to shame the person who's doing the thing into like not doing it because look, I'm telling you what society thinks. I've always found that just a terrible arrogance, however you wrap it. And right now cringe is just the latest version of that behavior that's been kind of wrapped that kind of behavior. So that's why. How did I win the fights? I just punched harder. I don't know what to tell you. It was over in 2 punches. One of them was over in 1 punch, and one was 2 punches. It was very. I mean, if you've ever been in a fight, they don't last very long. At least that's been my experience watching them and being in them. Thank you, Oscar. Could Last of Us lend itself to an anthology, not just different stories and characters, but different post-apocalyptic scenarios? I mean, it could, but at that point, I think at that point you get into you have to start questioning where the value of the brand really is. I don't think the value of the brand of The Last of Us is just because it's post-apocalyptic. Right? I think it's the characters, and I think it's the way those characters interact with each other, and I think it's the specific kind of threats they deal with. If The Last of Us was sort of like the Twilight Zone, and every episode was a different apocalypse, I think there's a cool game in that, but I don't think the people who are fans of The Last of Us would want that. But I think you could do spin-offs of The Last of Us and tell, different games and different stories about different characters in that scenario. You could do one that's I'm trying to think, it's been a while, so a lot of the cities have already look alike with all the vegetation, but I'm sure there could be I don't know, this is dumb because it wouldn't make any sense in the plot, but if you had The Last of Us but it was on a space station, or if you had The Last of Us but it was a cruise ship, right? I think you could do stuff like that, but because I think the settings could be more interesting, but then it starts to feel like Resident Evil. So I don't know. It's a good question, though. But I wouldn't do it as an anthology where the scenarios change. But I do think there is a game in that. I think it could be pretty fucking cool. Yeah, Halloween 3 was a failure. It was actually a great movie, but that wasn't even, that you can't, I don't know who you blame for that, right? Because if Halloween 1 had made it clear it was an anthology like they had thought about, and Halloween 2 made it clear, then 3 would have been fine. But they didn't. It's like, here's 1 about Michael Myers. Here's 2 about Michael Myers. Here's 3 about masks that Silver Shamrock makes that will cause you to die. What? That's what I would say. Why does your girlfriend hit you? I don't know. Are you hittable? Did you do something bad? Like be mean to her? Did you hit her first? Jesus. I don't know what to tell you, man. How big's your girlfriend? Like, is she stronger than you? Is she actually harming you? Or are you just fucking around, man? Because, sometimes that's a thing. I'm not shaming people. Sometimes that's a fucking thing, man. All right. What are we going to talk about? I want to talk about, I'm waiting for this guy to hit me up on the Twitter, but I don't see him. What is this? Oh no, this guy, look at this. This guy just put something on it. It says, this is about me. Washed up game dev tries and fails to gather relevance with weak bait. This is just sad at this point. I don't even understand what he's talking about because he's not using any punctuation. Desperate for what is this? Is this a video? Look at this. Okay, I have to show you this. She doesn't believe I'm a vegan. I hate bacon. So she hits you? I don't understand. All right, let me show you this, you guys. We're getting this just in. We're getting this in real time. The NPC trend. Oh my God, you mean where the girls are eating eating the stuff, and it's like, oh, that's too spicy. That shit, I think it's funny as fuck. I think it's disturbing and funny, and I love it. It's super cringe. Super cringe. Of course, it's horrible, but it's funny. I got to show you guys this. What is this guy talking about? All right, hang on. How do I put this up on the screen? No, I don't want that. No, I want this. What the fudge? Hang on, fellas. Boom, boom, boom. Bum, 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 bum. It's Tess Smucker. Okay, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Iron blood. Iron blood. What do men get out of that trend? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't get anything out of it because I don't spend any money. I just think it's stupid and funny. You know. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go back to... where is this? Can you see this? Oh, wrong screen. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so this guy says, oh, that's not what I want. I want to get what I want, but I don't know how to get it. Do. Shut up. Stop. Mom, he's hitting me. Look at this guy. Washed up game dev. Tries and fails to gather relevance with weak bait. But I didn't do this thumbnail. Desperate for female validation. But is this a thumbnail? Or can I watch this video? What is this? Hang on, let me talk to him. I want you to love me, Iron Blood 77. Why don't you love me like your French girls? I don't, I do get it though. I do get it. Did that go out yet? I used to think it was like a young person's thing, and it still might be. But I just, I think maybe it's also when you just haven't had, and again, I know this sounds like I'm trying to do some kind of backward compliment. I'm really not. But when you haven't achieved much yet, and I say yet because I'm not like he's a loser. No, maybe he will. Maybe he's on to something. He just hasn't blown up yet. You covet relevancy desperately. And I used to before I had done anything because I thought that was a kind of currency I needed. But once you start to get it, you realize, oh, this is not what you thought it was. So, I get it. I get why that is sort of a constant attack on me because I think people have always been, they've always been under the impression that I'm arrogant, although I'm not. It's just that I'm, I have a healthy self-esteem. I think I'm worthy to do the stuff I want to do. But I don't think that means someone else isn't. It just means that I'm, I'm good, I'm here. It's like that line in The Color Purple where Celie says, in her case, I'm not saying these are negative things, but this was the line. She says, I may be black, I may be a woman, I may be poor, I may be ugly, but I'm here. And I've always had a similar thing. I'm not saying I feel those things about myself, but, you're here. You're here, and you don't know how long you're going to get. And why would you live in black and white versus color? I don't understand that. I've never, and I don't mean that like I'm some, look at me, I don't understand it. That's how evolved I am. I just don't understand it because I understand fear. I understand the anxiety about doing things that you are worried about doing, but I don't understand not doing them. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, $6. $6 says, I see you as a poor black woman, Jaffe. Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes people confuse confidence for arrogance. Yeah, there's a big difference. Of course, I mean, I don't know if being alive is a gift or not, but I am grateful for it. I mean, so I think it is. I mean, life's also really fucking hard. So maybe, you know, it's like, oh, thank God. Remember that movie Waterworld? And I'll never forget this scene. I don't remember thinking it was a very good movie, but towards the beginning, it's like post-apocalyptic. Everybody's living on the water and shit. And there's this guy who's got to be like 70, 80 years old. And he's been like, I guess he's been like a slave worker or something on this fucking battleship. And finally the battleship blows up and he's going to die. And he just looks at the camera and says, oh, thank God. So, you know, maybe death beats the alternative. Is that the movie with the map on the girl's back? Water? Maybe. It's been I've only seen it once. I would never dress up as John Wayne Gacy. No, I would not. So I'm still dealing with people on the internet talking to me about the Ron DeSantis. I'll tell you what. And you know, I don't know, man. I mean, let me ask you this question, fellas. Filettis. What's the point? Right? What's the point at this point? You're not going to change people's minds. You're not. Whose mind has ever really been fucking changed when you talk politics? Really? No one's. Right? I had this one guy come at me talking about trans people the other day, and he just had no experience dealing with trans people. No evidence, no people in his life who were trans. He wasn't trans. But he was convinced that he somehow knew about it and was able to hang out on equal footing with me when it came to the subject matter of trans folks. And I'm like, well, what? Why don't you just be okay not knowing and going, yeah, Jaffe, I don't know. You seem like you have some experience being the dad of a trans kid. You seem like you have some experience actually having a couple of people in your life who are trans folks. Maybe let me hear what you have to say. But instead, he just thought he knew. I don't know, maybe these are robots. Maybe these aren't even real people. Maybe these people who feel this way they're just like, you know, automatons or something. I don't know. It confuses me. They just, maybe they're sad though, right? Maybe they're sad. And they just need some sense of power or a sense that they know something. It's not that they have a different point of view, Addie Pie. A different point of view is different than staking a claim and saying this is how it is. Everyone is another P turtle. No. The player has to return to the goalpost and while driving the... What? I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Okay. What did he say? I think it was... what did he say? He was... I don't remember at this point. I'm just getting tired. Why is my dog making noise? Hang on, let me go see what he wants. I'll be right back. The dog wants to play. He wants to play. I see. Well, I'm doing a stream right now, man. I can't play with you, dog. Come on, man. What did that guy say? I don't know. It's been a while now. Do you think you're a bit biased? There's nothing to be biased about. There's absolutely nothing to be biased about. It's just data. My dog's name is Ace. Come here, baby. Look at that tail. Get the tail on the camera, Ace. Come here. Here, come here. Show the people your love. Come here. Up here. You guys see Ace? The microphone's in the way. Come on. Where are you going? He ain't getting up here. I don't know what his argument was. It was like a fucking bear. He's selling a Twisted Metal collection on eBay for $12,000. That's amazing. The guy's argument was, it's just one of those things about, oh, you can't let these kids, I think it was like, you can't let these kids decide, you know, these life-changing things. Like, it was such a lack of awareness. It was such a, it was such this sort of talking point. Hello, Spectre. That you hear a lot about. There are people who think there are literally scenarios where a kid comes home from school and says, Mom, I'm not really, let's say, a boy, I'm a girl. And the mom's like, okay, off to the doctors, and then the dick gets cut off. I mean, I'm just like, it doesn't work that way. Doctors don't do that. I mean, it's stuff like that. It's like when you can't argue or discuss or find a meeting of the minds with that kind of person. Because I'm like, do you really think that's the experience that 99.9% of trans children are actually having these days? And then they don't want to hear about it. So I guess it was that kind of conversation. I do want to show you something really quickly, though. Hang on. I want to show you this. This is crazy. This is crazy, guru. Where is it? Where is it? Hang on. Okay, here we go. 1 second. Check out the link. What link? Did you send me a link? I didn't see it. Check that out, though. I mean, it's, you know, again, everybody can find an example or an anecdote, but I mean, you know, until this shit actually gets dealt with, right? I mean, come on, man. Really? I mean, really? One sec, fellas. Right? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. But it's an anecdote. I agree. I'm not saying this happens every day. I'm just saying that it's like, for every one crazy thing that you'll tell me, which is probably debunkable, I can show you 20 of these. What's the point? Do we really want to get into a pissing match? You know, it's disturbing. And I mean, again, I feel for these kids. I feel for their parents. This, Alex, is I guess some kind of church service where they're all feeling the spirit or something. I don't fucking know. All right, fellas, one of my kids just got home. I'm going to go hang out with my kid. Thank you very, very much for spending some time with me today and doing some nonsense. We will be doing a proper Gabbing of Games tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We'll be talking all about the video games and whatnot. But for now, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you guys, new members, old members, super chats, and just for your time. I appreciate it. Be well, you guys. Never, never forget. I can't help but be racist. It's true.